Hey friends, welcome back to the Rat Stream Rapid App Development, where we're talking about all of things in development, no code, finding users, getting traction, and everything that comes with all of those things. What I want to continue talking about today is kind of my own education on how to use AI in a Bubble app. Like I started using it yesterday on the stream, and it occurred to me that I don't know what most of these terms mean. So I kind of did a little bit of digging and trying to figure out a little bit more about what a model is, how to train a model, how to fine tune a model. It's clear to me that there's a lot of things to learn, and I kind of want to just get a broader framework of how to think about approaching these API endpoints that use AI algorithms to produce some kind of result. And just broader, kind of a broader understanding of when is this useful, right? Like AI is kind of become a buzzword. Machine learning and AI are kind of both buzzwords, have become buzzwords, but there are real applications for them. And I think understanding when and where it's important to use them instead of just saying, "Hey, my app has AI in it," um, is kind of important. Like go beyond just a surface level understanding of what you can do with these things. All right, so I pull up this article and let's take a look. ChatGPT and the Professional's Guide to Using AI, published yesterday by Ali Miller, who is an AI entrepreneur, advisor, and investor. All right, so let's see what Ali has to say. Maybe give us a little bit more framework to go off of when thinking about OpenAI and how to work with the latest artificial intelligence releases. If you're anything like me, this new technology has taken over your entire social media feed and social life. Certainly my social media feed, but not my social life. I don't think anyone else in my immediate network is talking about this except on like Twitter. But no one that I know personally or know in real life is talking about this. Every text conversation I have inevitably falls to the question, so have you tested ChatGPT? My inbox is filled with countless folks asking me how they can use it to improve their lives, wondering if it deserves the hype and attention, or anxiously questioning if it will completely take over their job. This is everyone's first reaction, it seems to me. All these reactions are normal, and you are not alone. It also kind of reading about this stuff and kind of talking about it. It kind of makes me realize that I am in a little bit of a bubble. Just kind of feel like I'm in an echo chamber sometimes, where we're all talking about no code and AI and the latest new, cool tools that are coming out. But I realize that most people in the world are not talking about this stuff, and it's weird to me that based on just if I'm just looking at social media and the internet, this is all anybody can talk about because these algorithms have designed are feeding me information about this stuff based on what I click on and what I tweet about. But in real life, it's yeah, that just doesn't translate to the real people that are in my life and my friends and family and stuff and the people that I physically am in a space with. So it's it's weird. It's just I guess this is not interesting to everybody. I wanted to write this article to help as many people as possible understand what this technology is, what it can do, why it is important, and how professionals across a variety of industries can leverage ChatGPT to find more job success, career satisfaction, workplace impact, and potential, even likelihood of promotion. Wow. Likelihood of promotion. AI can get you promoted. You heard it here first. It's not going to steal our job, it's going to get us promoted. If you'd like to follow along with this article and try out your own ChatGPT prompts, you can register for an OpenAI account with your email address, Google account, or Microsoft account, and use it for yourself at the chat.open.ai.com. I'll put that link in the chat in case anybody is interested. In case you haven't signed up for ChatGPT, The website and app are currently free, though there is speculation that it might be monetized in the future. All right, machine learning in your life. You may already be familiar with machine learning models in your everyday life. Here are some traditional examples. All right, so something kind of people that are already familiar with and um, that we can kind of relate to in a way that doesn't sound so scary and machiney. Siri and Alexa. Actually, I'm scared of both of these things. Take in speech, for example, convert your voice into text, feed that text into their respective artificial AI systems, identify the intent of the text, and return a hopefully helpful answer. You ask it, how long do eggs last? And Siri tells you they last 3 to 5 weeks in the fridge. Okay, so Google Photos stores all of your photos, all of the photos that you take, and not only maintains the metadata from those photos like location, date, and when the phone was used, but also automatically classifies text and detects objects, faces, logos, and more in your images. You search for women beach San Francisco. Within seconds, Google Photos show a video results that hopefully match. Netflix keeps track of your activity on their website and app, like clicks, watch time, return watches, savings, ratings, and searches, and along with your user metadata, location, demographics, and item metadata, genre, published date, popularity, movie, poster opinion, recommends a top 10 list of action movies you might want to watch and will hopefully enjoy. All these are fantastic use cases for machine learning and have saved me hours in manual typing, days in media organization, and endless agony in watching terrible TV shows. All right, so very, like these are things that are not as sinister as one would think, right? Like it's really just tracking your tastes so that it can feed you the algorithm can feed you content that you actually want to watch. It kind of makes it less scary, or less take over the worldy. Um, and like these are all things that we probably already are using. Like most of us are using one of these: Netflix, Google Photos, Siri, and Alexa. We're already using this stuff, so it's how far does it go, I guess, is everyone's question. All right, now why is ChatGPT different? Unlike these invisible models like Netflix, one that just runs in the back end without you specifically asking, or cache it and query later models like Google Photos that store the ML data and outputs as you upload the photos for a quick search months later, or single query model. This is a long goddamn sentence. Jesus Christ. When does this sentence end? This is one sentence right here. Or single query models like Siri, who can ask a question but don't really carry on a conversation. ChatGPT, I think this is the premise. ChatGPT is a machine learning model with a full conversational interface. It does feel like you're chatting with somebody. And in my opinion, the interface, early guardrails, and context length that set ChatGPT's model and application apart. Okay, I've been pushing for and investing in ML applications for years, and ChatGPT is one of the few large language models to hit at this scale and at light speed. In fact, ChatGPT hit 1 million users in just 5 days, which is mind-boggling compared to GPT-3, which took 24 months to hit the same scale. So I like this kind of stories because it shows you that there is no overnight success, as much as it may seem that is the case. GPT-3 was it took 24 months to hit a million users, but off the success of GPT-3, ChatGPT got its first billion users in 5 days, right? So still a lot of learning that went into that. ChatGPT's no code interface allows for anyone to use it, unlike other sophisticated and complex ML models making their way through scientific research and engineering communities. You don't have to be a coder to use ChatGPT. It's as easy as typing a sentence and getting a response. Yeah, it is. It's like as simple as typing into a Google search. If you know how to text a friend, you know how to use ChatGPT. The team behind ChatGPT is also heavily invested in safety, migrations, and continue to gather feedback from users via the upvote and downvote on the site. as well as other likely methods: social media, customer feedback, research programs, iterative development, constant benchmarking, cloud. There's also a Discord channel for those of you that don't know. OpenAI demonstrates its ability to combat hallucination prompts with ChatGPT here. Search for Columbus, for example. But when it comes to the topic of context length, I'm going to need a whole section. Feel free to skip to it if you're less interested in the nuts and bolts, but I promise I made it beginner friendly. All right, this is really what I'm looking for here. I want to have a more of a framework for understanding what's happening and how I should think about using this in software situations. Let's say we're having a conversation, but every 100 word shared between us, my memory completely resets, or bit more accurately, I can only remember our previously spoken 100 words. Imagine how difficult that might make our conversations. You might tell me all about your recent vacation to Montana, the cool motorcycle that you rented, the moose that you almost ran on the trail. But if we talk about elevators for a few minutes, I will have zero recollection about the convertible and the moose. That's basically what language models have been dealing with. An ML model's context length is an indicator of an AI system's long-term memory and knowledge retention capabilities. Okay, so cool. Kind of comparing it to short and long-term memory in a human, right? This is what sets that apart from like Google, for example. Google doesn't remember. Well, Google kind of does remember what you say, but they don't necessarily like chat with you about it, I guess, is the difference. Like it's less conversational with Google, but they will store your history for what you've done. For the advanced ML folks, here is a 2022 paper from Arfix sharing how models with increased context length are better able to solve the long document tasks as presented, while increase some context length is not critical for all machine learning use cases. It's imperative for some. So context length matters, but how big of a leap is ChatGPT? GPT-2, released February 2019 by OpenAI, had a context length of 1024 tokens. ChatGPT-3 has a context length of 2048 tokens. ChatGPT released November 2022 has likely context of 4,096, or as one Twitter user, Riley Goodside, tested, maybe 8,192 tokens. Tokens like a letter, I think. In the chat interface, early guardrails and context length that set ChatGPT's model and application apart. There are other methods to extend context lengths, and many theorize ChatGPT uses chained prompts, but its longer context length is already built to a big deal in my book. So let's turn to this nerdy token talk into real examples. 100 token is equivalent to about 75 words. Okay, so there you go. 100 tokens, 75 words. So put this into perspective with the most basic conversation. GPT-2 can handle about 768 words in its context length. GPT-3 could handle 1,536, and ChatGPT is theorized to be able to handle about either 3,000 or 6,000. Here's a quick visual demonstration showing what a token is using OpenAI's token tool. I was using this last night. Cool. Each new highlighted bit is a token. Feel free to find a document and paste it in, see how many tokens it is. All right, so this is 65 tokens and 280 characters. Trying that into real examples, a full-length tweet is about 55 words. The length of an average New York Times article is about 622 words. A random instruction manual I found online for a Honeywell programmable thermostat was 1,300 words. The U.S. Constitution, okay. And the King James Bible is 783,000 words. Right now, we're somewhere in between an instruction manual and the script for a B movie. And while this may sound quite limited, ChatGPT is a big leap from its predecessors, and it's enough to grab my attention, especially when it comes to conversational AI or chat interfaces. That is impressive. Yeah, just to give some thoughts here. That is impressive. If you think I can have a conversation with the machine, and it has the memory of an entire movie script, that's pretty cool. We haven't had that before. like having a conversational. I think that's the key difference, right? This is a conversation that stores up to the length of a hour and a half movie. That's pretty impressive. Like there's a lot of information that can be um, conversed about at that length. So I kind of see her perspective here. The moment is like the launch of a Google search. I've written and filmed thousands of posts, videos, tweets, and articles and keynotes about the future of artificial intelligence and machine learning without fail. There was always a small but persistent cohort in my comments saying, I'm not impressed, or this is nothing special, or I can already do that. Ignore them. Being ahead of the curve means adopting technology while others say it's dumb. That's how this works. People may mock you, question you, disagree with you, laugh at you, and it may even go on for years or decades. But that's what I feel. That's what it feels like to tap into an insight that not everyone else can see. It will look stupid to some, but to the visionaries, the dreamers, the fortune tellers, it's obvious. That's what this feels like. Now, I don't want you to diminish the AI advancements of the last 66 years. We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those brilliant team of thinkers and their research and innovators. My jaw has dropped to the floor multiple times in my career, and I witnessed new breakthroughs across human versus AI video game battles, weather predictions, drug discovery, and more. But this whole article is about step function growth, and the next few years, including GPT-4, are only going to get bigger. All right. I'm going to sound like an MLM for a moment. I don't know what MLM is, but with nothing to sell you, this is the time to act. I do agree with that. In that all these things, like the OpenAI endpoints, are all free at the moment. They're all free. So like this is the time to take advantage of them and see like what's even possible here before they start charging and monetizing this stuff. I feel like it is a good idea to at least get an understanding of what these things do in their infancy. That has to be important because I agree with this article in that these things are probably not going anywhere. They're probably going to be here. They're in their infancy right now. And like it or not, they're probably going to have a pretty big impact in the next few years. So getting an understanding of them now, at least, right? Understanding with, regardless if you're anti AI or like you don't want to think about this stuff. I think just an understanding of it is going to be important to navigate the internet and probably the world in the next like decade. And that's really what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get an understanding of how these things work and how we're supposed to interact with them. All right, so where was I? I'll share two quotes from leaders that I look up to. Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, in a statement to CNBC, AI is one of the most transformative technologies of our time. Mark Cuban said the con. There's two types of companies, those who are great at AI and everybody else. Okay. And went on to say that in order to be successful at some point, you're going to have to understand it. All right, I think that's fair. I agree with this. You're going to have to understand it at the very least. If you're curious about this technology, I encourage you to lean in and dig in to more companies, models, and applications. Despite being the focus of this article, OpenAI is not the only player in the mega model space. In addition to being the big cloud service providers, Amazon Web Service, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud Platform, Alibaba Cloud, IBM, all research labs and startups breaking into the scene across language and vision and general intelligence. A bunch of stuff I'm not going to say here. I've been fortunate enough to work with the majority of the companies for the next 2 years of artificial intelligence development are going to be huge. So how can, and this is the part that I'm really interested in, right? Like, how can professionals use GPT? So what have I gathered so far about this article? I still don't really understand what's happening in the background. I thought that was the intention of this. I'm still, it eludes me a little bit, but maybe she'll go on to explain more. Professionals from all industries can leverage artificial intelligence and ChatGPT to improve their work life, but it can't do everything. AI is not a replacement for a single task you do right now. It's a tool, and it matters how you use it. ChatGPT can hold a team meeting for you. Can't hold a team meeting for you, but it can get you a rough draft of an agenda. It can't call your mom, but it can help you brainstorm gift ideas for her based on her interest. ChatGPT can't diagnose you like a medical professional can, but it can give you a list of questions to ask your doctor so you have a better appointment experience. It's a rough draft a first try, a brainstorm tool, a foundation, an augmentation. Okay. But you need to bring the industry experience, the execution and critical thinking, the teamwork and collaboration, and emotional intelligence. See, and that's something that, like, that's probably why our jobs aren't going away anytime soon for this, at least. It's, there's still a lot that the human brain will bring to the table. So what is the first step to using ChatGPT in a meaningful way at your work? Thinking about your repetitive task works. Open up a Google Doc right now, grab a sheet of paper and write down the repetitive manual things you do on a daily or weekly basis. Write emails, create to-do lists, generate meeting agendas, recap work, commute to work, pick a podcast. Circle 2 that you believe ChatGPT can help with and start to form an example prompts to submit. My other advice before continuing. All right, so automating some of the ongoing repetitive tasks that you do every day, I guess, is one way that you can use this. Yeah, I guess that's easy. Jacob Jerkovich, I'm not saying his last name right, but he says that before an interview, he'll just kind of like throw into ChatGPT, hey, tell me everything you can about X person, because he's doing the podcast. And the ChatGPT will actually give him kind of a summary of their past, their background, their history, which you would otherwise have to navigate to a few different places for, like Twitter to see their most recent tweets and LinkedIn to see their employment history. You can just type into ChatGPT, and that gives you some kind of answer, which I'm sure is a lot quicker, and is just easier than going to multiple different sources. My other advice before continuing on is to read the terms of service, section 3A, as between the parties and the extent permitted by applicable law. You own all input and subject to your compliance with these terms. OpenAI hereby assigns to you all its right and title and interest and into an output. OpenAI may use content as necessary to provide and maintain the services, comply with applicable law, and enforce our policies. You are responsible for the content, including for ensuring that what does not violate. Okay. Not legal advice. All right, I'm going to skip this because it's boring. Improving job performance. Let's skip down a bit. Let's dive into the real examples of how professionals across sales, marketing, product management, project management, recruiting, and teaching can take advantage of this new tool and leverage. Teachers. Help with grading, feedback on student work. Tell me every grammar rule that's been violated in the student's essay, and then paste the essay. Creating personal learning materials. Example, help me explain the photosynthesis to a 10th grade student in a way similar to sports. Cool. Generate a lesson plan and activities. Example, create an activity for 50 students that revolves around how learning different colors of the rainbow. This is kind of like what Google, like if you think about it, like what Google did for organizing information, this is doing for like more abstract concepts, not just factually based things, but more abstract concepts. It's very similar. You put in a very like human prompt and you get back a answer that somebody would you would hope a friend would give you, or somebody who's knowledgeable in this area. But we're using it in the same way as Google, except we're just expecting more from it now, right? We're just expecting it to give us these very high level answers that are based on fact. All right, sales. Let's take an example from sales. I'm not going to read all of this. Write me a cold sales email to sell Calendly to a new healthcare startup based in Austin. So that's kind of cool. For me, I could be like, write me a cold sales email for somebody who is building a marketplace app centered around plants. See what they come up with. That'll be a completely, customized email that a machine wrote for me. All right, I'm going to skip marketing. I don't care. I don't care about recruiting. I'm going to skip this. Skip. All right, let's get down to this summary here. I wish there was a little bit more about the modeling and how to train models. This is very much from the user's perspective, but I still do feel like I've learned something from this. Project management and ChatGPT. No, let's skip that. 6 more ChatGPT use cases for every type of professional. I wrote a LinkedIn post that went viral on how professionals in any industry can use ChatGPT for gains in productivity, creativity, and learning. Below are these use cases below as well. Summary. Copy and paste this article. Can you summarize this article in one paragraph in a way that would understand, that a fifth grader would understand coding? Ask it to write basic scripts or even more qualitative questions like, what is the most efficient way to loop through a list in Python? Cool. So this is stuff that you can ask ChatGPT and you'll get an answer to. Planning. Think of an overwhelming task you have on your plate and a reasonable timeline. As create a schedule for me to launch my new machine learning startup by May 1st, 2023. Please include deliverables, timelines, contingency planning, team bonding, breaks, brainstorming, user testing. Writer's block. Do you have an email or blog post that you've been meaning to write but need a little push? Just write a nice email to Tom that asks him if he enjoyed the offsite, and then update his monthly report and send me promotion documentation. Use that as the foundation and edit it edit or tweak as needed. All right, 11 expert ChatGPT chips any professional can leverage. Let's get specific. Rather than asking it to write a generic tweet about music, ask it to write about bluegrass influence on pop music and see how that relates to rap. Rather than asking it to write an essay, ask it to write an essay about roses at the ninth grade reading level. Generic inputs will get generic and likely less impressive outputs. Yeah, that's fair. So be a little bit more specific. Try to break it. Is the tool perfect? Absolutely not. I've explored these flaws in countless posts: bias, data drift, privacy, homogeneity, centralization, accuracy, reliance. All right. I think yeah, I'm okay with this. I think that, this gives me a few different ideas of how to work with it and how to use it kind of as an end user, but I'm still looking for more about what is underlying it. What does this algorithm look like? How should I be interacting with it in a way that's going to train the algorithm to provide suggestions to prompts based on an app that I'm building, right? Specific to the user base that I'm interacting with, that I'm trying to service. I still don't have that yet, and I'm not sure where to find it. But, again, this is all new. It's all a start. I'm still learning whether or not this is even, obviously it's going to be something, but is it something that we should really be uh, thinking about in terms of everyday software at solving problems for people? I think it is, but I feel like there's still a lot to learn here. But that's it for me today. I think I'm gonna sign off. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for joining. If you have, feel free to suggest any topics that you want to discuss. Drop comments into the chat. I will see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, the Rad Stream. Thanks for joining.